The Secure Act just passed at the end of 2019. Now, is it designed to help us really secure a better retirement? Or is it just another tax grab? Or is it a little bit of both? Let's find out. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike the CPA. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief rundown of how the Secure Act will impact you, because it probably will, and a brief rundown of the rules so you know how to better manage these changes that are coming your way. In the past, those with traditional IRAs would have to start taking required minimum distributions by April 1st following the year in which they turned 70 and a half. The Secure Act, recognizing that people live longer, pushes back the age at which you have to start taking RMDs. Starting in 2020, you can now begin taking your required minimum distribution following the year you turn age 72. Now hold up here, ladies and gentlemen, don't get too excited. If you were already at the age of 70 and a half in 2019, you are still required to follow the old rules. This next area of the Secure Act is still evolving and it plans to go into effect starting in 2021, not in 2020, but it's going to allow, or it's designed to allow part-time workers to access company retirement benefits. It doesn't mean that the employer is going to have to contribute money to the part-time worker, but what it's going towards, or what they're trying to do, is give the part-time worker access to a retirement plan, the ability to contribute to one if they chose to do so. For employers who offer 401k plans with automatic enrollment, the contribution cap has been increased from 10% up to 15% of pay. So if you're in a plan that provides this kind of setup, what it means is that the amount coming out of your paycheck to your retirement plan can be slowly increased every year, usually automatically, until you've reached the 15% mark. And that amount will be going directly into your retirement savings without you even thinking about it. So right now, some employers are not required to offer coverage to those who work less than 1,000 hours for the company in a year. But this certainly may change as time evolves with this new law, especially for those who are already retired but still want to work part-time. So stay tuned for more updates on that in the future. Before we go further into the video, if you want to support the work I do here on this channel, you can do so simply by dropping a like, leave a comment below, or share this video with others. Now let's talk annuities. This is one of the other changes that is happening because of the Secure Act. They are now making it easier for employers to provide annuity options to their employees within a 401k plan. Because there are some employees who would like to have investing in annuities as an option for their overall retirement planning. Now let's talk taxes. And this is, I think, the biggest impact from this new bill is revolving around stretch IRAs. Before the Secure Act, many times a non-spouse beneficiary, we're talking non-spouse beneficiaries here, could elect to stretch out the IRA distributions throughout the course of their life expectancy, which would spread out how much income they would report per year from that inherited IRA. Pretend with me for a moment that you had a very rich uncle. Your uncle died with an IRA worth over $1 million. And your portion of that inheritance from his IRA was about $250,000. Your life expectancy, let's say, according to these IRS life expectancy tables, let's say it's 27 years. So you used to be able to spread out that $250,000 inheritance over 27 years, which is about $9,000 to $10,000 per year, which is a sizable, but usually not enough to bump you up to a higher tax rate. However, under the new laws, you would now be required to distribute all of that money within 10 years, which could certainly impact your overall income and your tax rates. Now, because there are so many people now in the United States who have 401k plans, you better believe that there's going to be a lot of beneficiaries down the pipeline who are going to be receiving those. And if you remember, a 401k, when it converts, it becomes an IRA, a taxable IRA, because that money has not been taxed. So you can definitely expect to pay tax on this money. Now, you don't have to really worry about it if it's a Roth that you're inheriting, but just strictly for a taxable IRA is really where this is going to impact you. This is starting in 2020. If you're already receiving an inherited IRA from someone, and that started before 2020, good news is you can still follow those old rules and stretch out those distributions as long as they can go. But under the new Secure Act, if you begin receiving a inherited IRA in 2020, you have to follow these new rules. And now, it doesn't mean you have to distribute a little money out every year. You can distribute the money as you please, but you have to fully deplete that IRA by the end of the 10th year. So there's definitely some tax planning opportunities here and ways to manage that, because what's going to happen is if you start taking a lot of money from these inherited IRAs, it's obviously going to impact your overall income because maybe you're already making money from wages, from rentals, from dividends, from business. It's just going to stack on top of that income, and it's going to cause people, if they don't do good retirement planning or good tax planning, I mean, to pay higher rates of tax now on that inherited IRA. So really, it's kind of a tax grab for the government is what's going on here. That's the way I view it. There are some exceptions though, such as for people who are disabled and beneficiaries not more than 10 years younger than the original account owner. Also, minors won't see the 10-year clock start until they reach the age of majority. Okay, there's a few other provisions with the Secure Act I just want to make you aware of. I'm going to read them off to you just real quick. Just because I'm reading them off doesn't mean they're in effect yet. Some may be and some may not, so do your research on these. One thing the Secure Act does is it's going to increase the tax credit cap for small plan startup costs for business owners to $5,000 from $500, so bigger tax incentives for business owners there. It's going to provide a tax credit of up to $500 per year for employers who use automatic enrollment in their 401k or simple IRA plan. It's going to encourage small businesses to set up retirement plans by increasing access to safe harbor plans. And it's going to allow, this one I really like, it's going to allow penalty-free withdrawals from your 401k to help offset costs related to having or adopting a child up to $5,000. I think that one's pretty cool. Also, one of my favorite things is now 529 funds can now be used to pay up to $10,000 in student loan debt. Pretty cool. So what are my overall thoughts on this? I know the government is seeing that there's a huge retirement crisis coming. There's so many people who are not going to be ready for retirement in this country. And I don't mean to say that to be depressing or negative, but it is reality. Most people have very little saved for retirement. I think that's part of the reason the government is passing this, is to allow people a little bit more time to save for retirement. They're trying to incentivize employers to get their employees saving for retirement sooner, even the part-time workers. And they're trying to offer more retirement options such as annuities and things like that. Now, do I think this will really help solve the retirement crisis? No, I personally don't think so. Now, somebody who already doesn't have good financial habits, who spends all their money or puts all their, buys a ton of things on credit cards and things like that, I don't see them saving in retirement regardless of what they do with these new laws. I think that person's gonna still face the same retirement crisis in the future. And I'm not a big fan of annuities personally. I don't plan to invest anything in annuities because an annuity is not an investment. An annuity is an insurance product. They give you a small rate of return, and then what they do is they go invest your money in the markets to make more money with it. And that's how they guarantee that small rate of return they give you from the annuity. So I'm not a fan of annuities. If you are, great, but that personally, I'm not. My last thought on this is clearly the government wants your tax money sooner. They don't want to wait 20 years, 25 years, 27 years to start getting the tax benefits from those taxable IRAs that are passing to the next generation. They want that money much sooner. Now, obviously, you're going to pay some tax on that money, but there are strategies you can implement to reduce your taxes, which I might put another video together in the future to go over that. Now, if you start receiving an IRA starting in 2020, obviously, within 10 years, that account has to be completely depleted. But remember, what you can do is not waste that money. If you'd like to, you can reinvest that money into a taxable account and keep that money growing. All right, that's all the information I have for you. If you liked the video, drop a like, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this Secure Act. What do you think of it? Do you think this is gonna help people save for retirement? Do you think this is gonna help solve the retirement crisis? Do you think it's just a tax grab? What are your thoughts? Share them below. If you're new to Money in Life TV, I just wanna say welcome. On this channel, we make videos to help you become fiscally fit. And we do that by teaching finances, investing, taxes, and more on a regular basis. So be sure to subscribe. You can subscribe for free by hitting the red subscribe button down below. And if you hit that bell notification icon, it's gonna notify you every time I release new content on the channel. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on YouTube. I always love hanging out with you guys. Live life uncaged, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.